how the cookie goes sometimes. So I'm just preparing my YouTube channel at the same time. I am going to be hopping over to Facebook and just make sure that I'm broadcasting on all of those two channels. So Facebook and YouTube. And I just want to make sure that I am fully present. So I haven't been on YouTube for a while, but I'm going to jump over to you guys on Facebook and make sure that I'm here. So happy Monday. It is a bank holiday, and I am going to talk about surrounding yourself with light and love in these moments, in these times, because I know that so many of us are in a lot of fear. There's a lot of content. I am guilty for feeding myself a lot of content, but I can handle it. But I also have the times when I know that I just truly tune out and I refocus. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Ava Eagle Brown. I am a life, book, and business strategist. I'm also the founder and CEO of The Mango Girl, which is not just my book, it's my umbrella company. And under there, we have the Mango Girl book, Mango Girl skin products, and so much more. I can't speak today. So if you are on the replay, make sure that you hashtag replay. If you watch these videos and they benefit you, they bless you, they edify your soul or who you are as a being, then please do always let me know. I want to talk to you today from my book that I do for my meditation. For those of you who know me, I'm a big Yolanda Van Zandt person. I read a lot of her books. I'm into a lot of positive thinking, quantum physics, and all those good stuff that are good for your mind and spirit and body. I serve Jesus Christ. I'm going to be very clear about that. I don't hide it. I'm not embarrassed about it. I don't force it on anybody else, but that's just where I stand. And so today's May the 3rd, but May the 2nd is what I really want to talk about. And it says, let's eliminate negative thinking. And that's Earl Nightingale. When you think negatively, you attract negativity. Bear with me 1 second. Let me just close my WhatsApp. When you think negatively, you attract negativity. I just think they say, show me your company, I tell you who you are, or what you think you become. Same concept. When you think negatively, right, you are going to attract negativity. That is the awesome power of your mind. When you confront the world with negative thoughts, you will experience you will have experiences to confirm what you are thinking. How many times have you been thinking something bad, right? I've been guilty of it in the past. Oh my God, why does this always happen to me? Very popular one amongst us as human beings. Why does this happen to me? Or this always happened to me, just my luck. Exactly. And when you think it that way, when you feel that way, when you sound that way, it absolutely always happens to you because that's your mind. Whenever I'm driving somewhere, and I drive a big car, and I'm going someplace, no matter how busy it is, I'll give you an example. Today I went to Denome, I can never say that word, and the sheet and that furniture interior decorating store. And when I was heading up the hill to go into the car park, it was full. There were people and Jeeps everywhere. And I just thought, I'm going to get a park. I'm going to get a park. And there are people there waiting before me. I drove up and I parked. I always find a park because I always have this mindset that I'm going to find a park, right? I always seem to believe it and I always manifest it. So your thoughts become things, and what you think, you become. And so, as it says here, it says, thought to be experienced. He says, you will have experiences to confirm what you're thinking. Thought to experience, that is the process. You think so that you can experience. It is not the other way around. What you believe people in the world are doing to you is actually a reflection of your thoughts that you're drawing to yourself. If you want to free yourself from the harshness of the world, clear harsh thoughts from your mind. clear anger with forgiveness, confusion with orderly thinking, clear restriction with an open mind, violence with peace and peaceful thoughts, clear denial with acceptance, hate with thoughts of love. So it's really giving you the opposite for everything that's negative. So if you feel hate, think love. When you clear what you do not want from the recesses of your mind, when you take it out, when you remove fear and anguish and anxiety, it will miraculously disappear from your life. Oh my God, this is so true. There's a situation in my life where I used to walk around, and I talk about it all the time. I used to walk around with this, I used to have a lot of anger. I used to have a lot of anger because you guys know I've been through a lot of stuff, right? And I used to walk around with so much anger in my mind. I was constantly angry, and I used to have this thing in my chest like a ball. I would get really worked up. I haven't felt that way in years. I used to feel so worked up so easily. The mention of certain people's names would get me really, really angry. And then I had to reverse it because it was impacting my mind, my body, my feeling, my emotions, and it was impacting who I was becoming. And so I had to step back and started realizing that my thoughts were becoming things. And so rather than thinking hatred and anger and frustration and what you didn't do to me and what you did to me, I started to think happy thoughts. I started to think about forgiving the people. And there were quite a few of them involved in it. It was trying to forgive them to the point where today I don't remember them unless somebody brings them up in a conversation or something come up that I have to remember. And when I think of them now, I just think, I really feel like you're a sad person, like genuinely. And I'm not saying from a hurtful place. I'm saying it from an awakened space of understanding that what I had to change how I saw them, how I interpreted them as people and their behaviors. And I had to become that change. And suddenly, over time, of course, my life miraculously changed. So I think that what we need to understand is what we think we become, thoughts become things. So the reflection for this is, what are your 3 most negative thoughts? What techniques can you use to disempower them? And I'm going to leave that there and talk about the topic today. It's surrounding yourself with light and love, because a lot of people are experiencing the thought of fear. Right now, there are so many people who are feeling fear. They're fearful and they don't know how to get over the fear, and they are nervous and there's anxiety. I was listening to the news the other day, and I'm not going to share some of the things that I actually heard, but it got to the place where some people are taking some really drastic measures because of how much anxiety they're feeling. And it's such an anxious time. It's at a time when if you don't have the right tools, you are going to become very anxious and you're going to become very fearful. And I just want to say to you, right now, you need to be in the space where we're actually thinking and understanding that right now we need to be feeding ourselves. I call it good food. Good food. It is food. We have to start feeding ourselves the right food in order to cope in these times. So the first thing I want to say to you, I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks here that I use to deal with. I don't get fearful anymore of these. Like Corona doesn't fear me. I don't get fearful. I feel uncomfortable and sometimes I feel frustrated and, I feel restricted, but fear is not one of the words that crop up for me. I must be honest. And so these are some of the things that I'm going to talk to you about, how to deal with this time, how to shed light into your life. And one of the things that you need to do is to just take time out. So I said to you guys earlier that from time to time, I feed myself on a lot of Corona news. I'm a Corona news junkie, and I'm looking for alternative news because I don't trust the mainstream news. So I'm always trying to find other sources of where to find close to the facts, because I don't believe that there's total facts in some cases. But sometimes I take time out, literally. And what this really means is I don't want to see anything or hear anything from the news. I literally won't. So I grab the headlines every day because obviously it is important to know what's happening around you. but I don't sit there and take in as much as I would. So I know when to dip in and dip out. So know when you can dip in and dip out and take time out, because you need to be able to prevent yourself from being flooded with anxiety and fear. And that will actually make you physically ill. The second thing is, if you feel that you're getting really fearful and you're anxious, is to understand that you need to face that fear and really ask yourself, what is it that is making me feel fearful? Is it the amount of information I'm taking? Is it the continuous conversation around it? What is it? It's identify what that is, because when you know what it is in particular, you can actually work with it. We work through it. Then look at, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen in this situation? Now, everybody's worst and interpretation of worst is different, but look at what is it that's making you feel this way and really examine what's the worst that could happen. Visualize a happy place. Oh my God, I can't begin to tell you guys. We visualize happy places in this house. My son is a Jamaica fanatic, Jamaican addict. For a boy who was born in the UK, you would never know that he was born in Jamaica. And every day he dreams of Jamaica, to the point where I said to him the other day, there's a show I watched as a child. It's called I Dream of Jeannie. And I keep saying, I dream of Jamaica. He puts himself in a happy place. He visualizes and he goes into his happy place, and his happy place is Jamaica, and he stays there. What is your happy place? Find yourself a happy place and make sure that you take a moment and you close your eyes and you imagine that place that is safe and calm, or that brings you happiness. So that could be a picture of you walking on the beautiful beach somewhere, or you snuggle up in bed, a happy time in your life, a happy place in your life, a happy memory. Let that positive feeling sit with you, soothe you until you feel more relaxed. Talk about it. You know, I have a few friends that are really tight. I have a tight, close circle. I really have a really tight circle. And within that tight circle, I have a few people who, if I feel anything that's making me uncomfortable or anything that, is concerning for me, no matter what, I can actually go to them. I was thinking of something I shared with one of them recently. It was so private and so personal, but it had to be a good friend for me to share that kind of discomfort with, right? Talk about it. Talk about it. Sharing your fears will take away a lot of what is anxious for you or causes you anxiety. Find a person you can talk to. Find somebody you can trust with the information, because that's really, really important. I really want you to understand as well that go back to basics, right? Look at what it is, the simple things every day that makes you feel good, like a good night's sleep, like I'm going to bed soon, right? A really good meal. I've started eating so differently now. So, I mean, I started this new eating journey probably about a year ago or a year and a half ago. And for those of you who follow me, I start juicing more. So I juice, like literally, I'm drinking juicing every day. Like there's juicing every day. I drink freshly juiced juice, right? And we're talking about green juicing, not just juice. My son said, Mommy, I do my broccoli, my spinach, my kale, my cabbage, yes, my cucumbers. I'm juicing all those green stuff, right? And when I'm juicing things like oranges, I literally wash, brush, not peel, gunk. Ginger, wash, scrub, gunk. Lemon, same thing. I don't really peel anything around here anymore in terms of juicing. So I'm juicing more, and that makes me feel so good. But I've gone a step further, and I decided now that anything that's produced, I'm not eating it. So anything that has to be produced by somebody, I don't eat it. I eat only things that are produced. So the things that come from the soil. So I'm not eating any bread, any rice, any oats. And those are actually natural. Yes, I agree. But right now I'm sticking to the carrots and the broccoli and the okras and the yams and the potatoes. And I'm just eating those things that come naturally from the soil. So things like rice, they have to still be a little bit of processing and stuff like that. I'm really trying that new way of eating because I wanna fix, we're in a space where nutrition and health have never been more important. We're at this pivotal space where what we eat and how we eat is so important. And I've started this journey about a year and a half ago, just before COVID started. And I just decided I'm gonna take it another notch. I don't eat red meat anymore. You know, I'm just eating chicken and fish. And I kind of came off chicken, but I missed it a little bit. But right now I'm thinking that I really genuinely want to come off chicken. And I would love to be vegan if I had somebody to cook for me every day. I'm not good at vegan cooking, so I'm not gonna even put that on my head, and I've got enough going on. But change some things in your life. Surround yourself with light and love, the people you love, your family, things that are nice around you that make you feel good. You know, I have this blanket. It's really, I mean, it's embarrassing to even bring that on camera. I call it my kush kush. And without a word of a lie, my son will tell you, whenever I pull for my kush kush, whenever I pull for my kush kush, he says, no, you're going to fall asleep. Whenever I put that thing around my body, it just makes me feel so safe and I'm ready to fall asleep. Now, of course, when I find a man in my life and then he comes along, now him and the couscous gonna have problem, y'all. But right now, it's my couscous, right? It's really not even great looking. It's not tattered. It just the color is going. It's a creamish one, and I don't know what's going on with it, but 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 it really makes me feel so snuggled, and it really makes me feel so there's a feeling when it touches my body that just makes me relax and I want to go to sleep. I actually got that in Poland a few years ago when I went to Poland to speak. I got this blanket, and it's been 5 years I've had it, and I must tell you that there's something about it that's just magical. I probably it's in my mind. But so find things around you that makes you relax. My bed, I love my bed. My son loves my bed. My bed is a space that everybody wants to come and jam in this house. I just love my bed. My bed makes me feel happy and comfortable. I love when my bed is made. I love, there are the odd days when I get out of my bed and I just don't get around to making it. No heat, no judgment, you all, okay? But before I go into it to sleep, so I'll be stepping into the bed to sleep, but I'm going to make it. I just have this real mad thing about me. But when I get into that bed, it makes me feel good. A nicely fresh set of bed linen makes me so happy. There's something about when my bed linen is fresh and clean and, and new and nicely made. So find the things, surround yourself with things. I burn sage. I say, you probably heard my song last week. I was saging up my house. I burn incense, frankincense and myrrh all the time. I burn a lot of candles. I'm a Yankee fan, right? I love Yankee candles. Today I went to the store. I bought candles, vanilla. I'm a big candle person. I'm always burning candles in my house. I have this Yankee candle warmer that you plug in to the wall, and the candle just melts and it just smells up the whole place. Find the things that you love, right? And just milk it. But by all means, resist fear, because fear is false evidence appearing real. And oftentimes the things that we fear are there because we haven't really explored them. We're fearing somebody else's experience or what somebody else says or how somebody else reacted. I went to the hospital last week, and I'm going to do a live about that one day. And I was to do the scan, and I was scared. I mean, when the letter came from the hospital, just the way they wrote the letter made me really frightened. And then I rang and they're like, no. Okay, good. And then I went to do the scan, and I was met by this really, there's some women who are not feminine. She was very masculine on her voice and everything. And don't get me wrong, you all, so please don't start having a go at me. She was just very, very, it wasn't aggressive. That's the wrong one. She was just very macho in terms of, she wasn't gentle. Let me put it that way. And by the time she started talking and telling me about what needs to happen to me, I was afraid. She scared the hell out of me. And I had to be doing my breathing techniques and talking to myself and all that. And this woman was really, by the time she was done, I wanted to run out of the room. Long story short, she was meant to give me a candula in my arm to get an IV and to administer some medication. And I was like, do I really have to take it? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, no, ask the doctor if I have to take it. Long story short, I didn't have to take it. And she's like, oh, but if you don't take it, you're going to feel so much pain and it's going to be so painful. And I'm starting to think it's going to be really painful now. And I was like, no, I'm going to take my chances. She's like, no, but people always take it. I'm like, it's okay. And because two things for me. One, I had nobody to pick up my son from school. Yeah, single mother life. My husband, if you're watching, make sure you hurry up and come, y'all. And I needed to come and get my son from school. And I was doing a training session in the evening. So I was going to be doing some training. And I didn't want to miss. I'm presenting, so I need to be there on time. And so they gave me the medication. I had to stay in the hospital for an extra hour. And I didn't want to stay in the hospital for an extra hour. Hold on, guys. Let me turn some lights on because this is getting dark, y'all. So I didn't want to stay in the hospital for an extra hour, and time was running against me. And by the time this woman was done, she frustrated me and confused me and scared me off. So I opted not to take the injection that she wanted to give me. I went in and had the scan, and I kid you not, I was sitting in the machine, right? And it was a little bit uncomfortable. And I was sitting in the machine and I was saying to myself, like, seriously? Like, is this what you were really getting me so psyched up about? And if I allowed her to make me get psyched up, and if I'd allowed her to make me take the 2 injections, actually, two lines of whatever through an IV in my arm, then the doctor tried to get my vein. See, they didn't get my vein. They couldn't find a vein. Yep. And so I was all freaked out by now. So I had to start doing my mental conversation. I had to start talking to myself. Long story short, I opted not to take the medication, and I went into the machine and I did the scan, and it was not painful. Can I just be honest? And I came out thinking, seriously, sometimes we act and react to something based on somebody else's experience. And I know I took a long time to explain that, but you get my point. Sometimes we listen to other people's experiences and how other people experience stuff and what they go through, and we absorb it and we make it our own experience without actually experiencing it for ourselves. And sometimes people's psyched up stuff about something can really trigger you, put you off, and make you fearful. Long-winded way, but you get what I mean. And when I came out of the machine, I wanted to say to the woman, but I just didn't have the time. I wanted to say to her that you guys actually put fear in people. And then probably it's a Black girl threshold, that the perception that a Black girl is strong. But I just thought it wasn't painful. And let me take that back. I mean that there's this concept that, Black girls can manage pain in the hospitals. Hence, a lot of Black girls have babies, and the maternity figures for Black women in hospitals is something to talk about at another time. But truthfully, it wasn't painful. And I said this to say that sometimes when we listen to everybody else's stuff right now, we could become fearful because we're absorbing, we're extrapolating. Others are deflecting their fear onto us. And we have to be very careful of how we take that in this moment. It's a moment we have to start preserving ourselves. We're in this, we're in this moment where it's every man for himself to a point. And it sounds selfish, but it's true. You have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, because we're in this space right now where people are getting burnt out. People are getting a lot of anxiety. People are struggling to cope mentally. Not everybody has a support system or a strong enough support system. A lot of people have lost a lot of family members, and the world is going through, I read in a book recently where we're going through this apocalypse, and the world is going through this apocalypse in terms of, it's going to flip on its head a couple more times in our lifetime. And what we do and how we handle it is going to be so important. I'm telling you. So right now is the time to really bootstrap and preserve your energy. And it's like taking those energy bars to keep you going. We're in the moment where we need to be stocking up on our energy, stocking up on our resiliency, stocking up on our mindset. It is the time to do that. It's a time to do that. I said to somebody last week that my biggest challenge, not fair, my biggest challenge is that I will get stuck in Europe and won't be able to see my family again. That's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable thought, and one that I have to work through every day. One that I have to work through every day, because my family is split. My immediate family is split. My immediate family is split. My daughter is somewhere else. My son and I are here. but my bigger family is even more split. And that's a challenge for me every day. But I keep focusing on the light. I keep believing that good will always win over evil. I keep believing that there's got to be joy everywhere, every day. I keep understanding that every moment matters. So every chance I get to speak to my family, I'm telling them how much I care and I love them. Those things are so fundamental. Love conquers everything. Laugh in the rain, find moments to just balance everything. Don't be hard on yourself. Be gracious to yourself. It is a time to be gracious to yourself. And it's also hi, Caroline. It's also the time to do all the things that you've been wanting to do and you haven't gotten the chance to do. Stop putting things off. Stop putting things off, because we don't know when the end is going to come for any of us. So stop putting things off. Start doing the things you want to do. Go where you want to go. Be who you want to be. It is that time. And still take the risk no matter what. I'm living in a space where I'm doing all the things I've wanted to do. Like I'm doing so many things that dreams and doors that I've knocked on and I forgot that I knocked on are opening for me, because regardless of what's happening around me, I'm still ready with my arms open to receive. I'm in that place where I'm still ready to be receiving. I'm still focusing on the end goals that I want, and I'm not going to be heavily distracted by what's going on around me right now. Do I hear it? Do I feel it? Does it impact me? Absolutely, like everybody else. But I put myself in a cocoon. Today, my son and I went into this this pet supply. I mean, we don't have a pet. And my kids are killing for a dog, and they're killing for a dog. And every day they want a dog. Ain't go having a dog in here, okay? Now they're talking about a dog need to have COVID jab. Can you imagine that? I don't want no dog in my house, right? Anyway, moving along. And we went into the store, and there were these hamsters. And they were like two or three of them could fit in the palm of my hand, and I don't have a massive hand, but they were just in a cocoon. They were just in this little thing, and they were just all squeezed into it, and they were just hibernating. They were preserving their energy. They were just, the world was passing them by. Sometimes that's how I am. Sometimes I'm in my own little world, doing my own little thing, focusing on my brand, focusing on all the things I do, and just getting on with life. And still understand that there's a world out there that's happening. But right now, I'm in the Ava world. Sometimes you have to just be in your own world. So I said that to say it's a long-winded piece today, y'all. But I wanted to just say to you, surround yourself with light and love. Do the things you love. Focus on those who love you. Focus on love and relationships and friendships and candles and incense and whatever make you feel good. A nice soak in the bath, whatever feels good for you. I don't know. Different for everybody else. But just don't lean into the negativity. Don't leave. I have overcome 3 strokes, and that's amazing. Caroline, that's amazing. There you are. You've overcome 3 strokes. That's it. I won't say I'm launching. I'm about to share something soon. It's not a launch. I'm sharing something soon that God has placed on my heart to do. I'm not going to talk a lot about it now, because talking a lot about it now means that I'm not going to be properly at the place to do it. So I'm not going to say it right now. But God has placed some stuff on my heart to do. And it's around hearing about stuff like that. It's about hearing about people who've had 5 strokes or 3 strokes, and they've overcome, and they're still here. And they're still here to tell the story. And they're still here to say, you know what? It has been this way, but here I am. It has been this way, but I'm still standing. I just believe that we have the propensity as human beings to overcome anything. It's all about the power of the mind. It's not easy, it's hard, but it's possible. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for staying with me. My YouTube thing is just not, my camera is just not okay right now. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you got away something from this. You are very possible. You have the propensity to be great. You can turn negative thoughts into positive thoughts. You can decide and you can choose how you want to absorb information. And you can choose how you want to exist in this space, because ultimately you are the CEO of your own life. So don't forget to go to themangogirl.com. I got to tell you about my store, themangogirl.com, themangogirl.com. Follow me on Instagram. It's dr.avabrown24. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you hear when I'm on. My son taught me that. I'm remembering. And let me know what part of this really impacted you. Did you get anything from it? Were you able to focus on anything in your life that feels or sounds how I was describing that? How can you change your thought process in this time? And more so, will you change? Because ultimately, the change starts with you. It's Dr. Ava Eagle Brown. Have a great evening. I am going to go to my bed because I am tired.